Hi, I'm SBS Deavaran and I'm so glad you're joining me in another episode. So this video is regarding the best, the most important and the most dynamic currencies of all currencies, time. So in today's world, travel and communication spans across all zones, right? All regions. And in spite of this, everyone in every part of the world stays in sync with each other. Amazing feat, right? Have you ever wondered how this happens? Right from New York till Melbourne, a second is always a second. There's nothing more, nothing less. And this kind of a perfect synchronization in time across regions is a really intelligent thing to achieve. How did we do that? So, this video, we'll just talk about the basics of how this happens, what goes behind the scenes when you see the time in your watch, what happens, and how time is measured across the world. So, let's go. So, the answer to how we achieve this precise synchronization among people across the world is UTC. So this is the Universal Coordinated Time. It has been officially stated as the standard of timekeeping by the International Telecommunication Union, which is a body of United Nations. So earlier we already knew a measurement called the GMT, right? The Greenwich Meridian Time. So this UTC, the Universal Coordinated Time, officially replaces the GMT. There is just one difference between GMT and UTC. GMT is measured with midday as reference, whereas UTC is measured with midnight as reference. So, a new term, UTC is now the world standard for official timekeeping. Now, this UTC is derived from two important measurements. So, one is from the ultra precise ticking of hundreds of atomic clocks across the world. This is called the International Atomic Time or the TAI. And the next is, of course, the Earth's rotation. So this is called UT, Universal Time. So in a nutshell, the Universal Coordinated Time is a function of the atomic time and the universal time. So UTC is a function of TAI and UT. Now let's look at a little more deep into how the Coordinated Universal Time or the UTC is calculated. So like we discussed before, UTC is a function of two factors. One is the International Atomic Time, TAI, and the other is the Universal Time, which is from the Earth's rotation. Let's look at these two factors separately. First, the International Atomic Time or TAI. There are over 400 cesium atomic clocks placed strategically across the world, and all these clocks periodically send time signals to a body located in France called the BIPM, which is the International Bureau of Weights and Measures. Each of this clock is in turn weighted in terms of depending upon their stability and the duration across which it was on. And this BIPM, it gathers all these signals from these 400 plus clocks and it derives a standard time from these clocks. This is set as a TAI, which is the International Atomic Time. Now let's look at Earth's rotation and how UT is calculated. So right from the beginning of this world, we people, humans, have used the position of planets and stars to derive time, right? It is impossible to not factor in that even in this day and age. So there is an official body called the IERS, which looks at the position of planets and stars with respect to Earth's rotation and then derives a time called the universal time. So now we have the universal time from the Earth's rotation and the International Atomic Time from over 400 atomic clocks across the world. A function of these two gives us the coordinated universal time or the UTC, which is nothing but the world's standard time. As you read up more about how time is measured, you might come across a term world clock. So this is nothing but the Coordinated Universal Time, or the UTC. The first world clock was introduced in 1960 by the British physicist Louis Essen. He developed the first atomic clock with cesium atoms, and the accuracy of this clock was over the roof and phenomenal. So before 1960, people used the quartz clock, which in turn used vibration of quartz crystals to measure time. But there was a huge drawback for this quartz clock, because the vibration of this quartz crystals tend to fluctuate and don't factor in the rotation of the earth. So this led to a lot of delays and a bit of delays and lag in seconds. So after 1960, when the first atomic clock was introduced, the vibration of cesium atoms for these atomic clocks was so precise that it factored in the rotation of the earth as well, and this did not give any lag in seconds. So that problem was solved. So welcome UTC. Whenever there is a measurement of this complex nature, there is bound to be errors and irregularities, right? In this case, errors usually come from Earth's rotation, which is not constant. It tends to fluctuate. Sometimes the speed increases, sometimes it decreases. And in terms of this measurement of time, which is to be accurate to 1/nth of a second, the Earth's rotation error is something which we cannot ignore. So in comes the term leap second. So depending upon how slow or how fast the earth is rotating than the usual speed, a second is added or subtracted respectively, and this is done to maintain the main UTC and the earth's rotation UT at a range of 0.9 seconds from each other. So till date there have been 27 positive leap seconds. The first leap second was recorded in 1972, which was a positive leap second, and in 2020 the Earth's rotation speed decreased suddenly. So scientists were in a confusion whether they need to put in a negative leap second, and they did. So 2020 had the first negative leap second. Now a valid question arises. So are the cesium atomic clocks the ultimate in terms of timekeeping? Can there be any future technology which we can infuse into atomic clocks to make it more precise and accurate? The answer is yes. The current atomic clocks, they work in microwave frequencies. The future is of course the optical atomic clocks, which work in optical frequency. It can give us trillions of ticks per second. So you can imagine the amount of precision and accuracy that optical atomic clocks can give us, right? So currently there is one clock in place, which is a strontium atomic clock, and it gives the accuracy of within 1 by 15 into 10 power 9th of a second per year. So to put this awesome statistic in perspective, the world, the Big Bang happened 13.8 billion years ago, right? So if this strontium clock was put in place at that time, till date not even 1 second would have been lost. So that is the precision and accuracy that this optical atomic clock gives us in place. So you can read more about these future upcoming atomic clocks, or more about leap seconds and how atomic clocks work in general in detail. So you can find a link to my blog below, and you can also research more about it in the internet. So this is a beautiful topic to research about. It puts time into perspective and gives us the whole science behind what is happening when we look at time in a wristwatch, right? So next time you look at the time in a wristwatch, you will surely remember UTC, TAI and UT. That's all I had for today. Hope you found it interesting. So if you love what you're watching, give a like and subscribe so that I can find you next time on time with such diverse and interesting topics. So we have just one life. Be happy, have a smile on your face, spread kindness, and live life the way you want it and not the way others dictate you to be. Bye bye.